If you press F7, it'll teleport your car to the exact location the camera is in, no matter the chaos it'll cause. Or, if you travel next door and press F8, it does the opposite, teleporting your camera to the exact location of the car. Now, to get somewhere to teleport your car, you can press Shift and C to access FreeCam. This allows you to travel anywhere in the map. In fact, it's how I found most of my autistic details. And then, if the camera is way too fast or way too slow for you, you can use Alt and the scroll wheel to adjust the base speed the camera moves. And as a bonus tip, you can press Shift to boost even faster. Now, if you want to cause some real chaos in your newly teleported place, you can press Ctrl Shift H to deflate a random tire. You can do this either when you're sat still, flying down the highway at 100 miles an hour, or when your wheels are detached for some reason. Now, if you get bored driving, just press Ctrl Shift I, and the car will drive itself like a traffic vehicle, allowing you to chill in the back seat of your limo as you get driven around. However, safety is not guaranteed. Here are 49 keybinds in BeamNG that you need to know. I guarantee you won't know all the shortcuts at the end of the video. Instead of going through the menus, you can speedrun your way into photo mode by pressing Ctrl Alt P to open it instantly. If you press Insert, you can not only recover your vehicle in place, repairing all damage, but if you hold it, the game will rewind your car along the path you drove, fully recovering in the place you let go of Insert, saving you using F7 to reposition your car. Or, if you want to start your vehicle from the exact same place every time, then you can just press R and it'll take you to your vehicle's last home location, which is the place you last clicked Insert. If you hold down left control and wave your mouse over a vehicle, you can see all of its nodes, allowing you to drag, damage and destroy parts of a vehicle. However, if you're trying to weld two contraptions together for scientific reasons, or want to suspend your car in the air to submit to a modern art exhibit, then if you press the middle mouse button, you can weld the node to either the air or another node you're currently hovering over. Then, if you're struggling to drag your vehicle or are causing too much damage, you can use the scroll wheel to increase or decrease the strength that you're putting onto the node that you've selected. You can cause a lot of damage by doing this. If you want to manipulate your car in almost any way, like exploding it, boosting away, braking everything, or even cruise controlling it, you can press E to open the radial menu and find all these settings and more in here. Although if you're not wanting to navigate through the radial menu to faff around activating and deactivating traffic, you can press Ctrl Shift T and it'll either enable standard traffic without police or remove it if it's already active. And continuing on from that, you don't even have to use this menu to activate your fog lights. If your standard high beams are not doing enough for you in BeamNG, activate by pressing N once for dipped headlights and again for high beams. Then you can try adding fog lights with Alt N. However, remember they're only legal if visibility is less than 100 meters, and this also activates your underglow lights. Now, to quickly start and stop replays, you can press F2, which will both start recording and stop recording, saving it to your replays so there is no annoying playback that normally happens. If you want to change between your regular drive modes, sporty modes, or disable traction control, you don't have to faff around with the little buttons. You can press Ctrl and Q to cycle through the different drive modes. If you're in an intense race and you press 1 on your numpad, you can quickly glance behind you to see who's there. And if you don't have a numpad, well, if you want to quickly access the vehicle selector to get from an awful car to your favourite car, you can open it even quicker by pressing Ctrl and E. By using Alt and either of the up or down arrow keys, it doesn't actually matter which, you can enable and disable slow motion for cinematic crashes. Then you can make it slightly faster or considerably slower by using Alt and the left or right arrow keys. Left decreasing the speed, making the game slower, and right making it speed up slightly again. Also, if you disable the speed by using Alt and your up or down arrow keys, it will remember what speed you last had and auto reactivate it next time you enable slow motion. Now, if you want to know how much damage all this is doing to your FPS, you can use Ctrl and F to see your FPS count. If you keep pressing it, it cycles through a bunch of different modes, giving you as much or as little information as you want. However, if you really want to see performance data in depth, you can press Ctrl Shift and F, and it'll give you an entire confusing performance graph with all your computer's specs and see how much system requirements BeamNG is using. Now, towing trailers is actually way easier than I thought. Well, at least connecting them. On any vehicle of any size, providing they have two compatible hitches, you can press L, which will kindly highlight the connection points, as well as gently magnetize them to help you connect them. If you're wanting to get a close-up look to your car, or get a bird's eye view of it, you can use Shift and page up and page down to zoom in and out in orbit cam. Although I'm not sure who in their right minds would drive like this, or in fact this. Sunsets are so pretty. There we go, that's better. Using Ctrl-Shift-D, we can change the time of day between midday, pretty sunset, and midnight. Now, if you want to make your car look different by changing either parts or colours, you can use Ctrl and W to quickly open the part selector and make any changes you want to it in the most efficient manner. Now, press Alt-U to hide your UI and you can entirely enjoy the scenery with no clanky UI in the way. Well, now I can swiftly move on by pressing Tab to switch to the next vehicle, and then the next, and then the next, and so on. But hang on, I forgot something. Let me use Control and Tab to switch cars in reverse of the order we just did, so I can get back to the previous car quicker. Now I'm back, I can press Alt and O to not only capture a screenshot of the pretty view, but it'll actually open it in Microsoft Edge for some reason. It is literally just called Take an Upload Screenshot in the control settings. No idea where it's uploading it to, or why it has to open it in Edge. I really don't know why you can't just press Control and P instead to take a screenshot, which will save to your camera folder. However, unlike photo mode, it also captures your lovely UI, if you have it showing, or it won't if you don't. I mean, it's a screenshot, it takes a photo of what's on your screen. However, if you still refuse to use photo mode and you want a higher quality screenshot, you can use Alt and P to capture a high resolution screenshot. After all that talking, I need some fresh air, so I'll press F to enter walk mode, getting out of the car and going for a little stroll with my beloved beamling. Now, another useful one for when you don't want to press all the tiny little buttons, you can use Alt and D to change your diff settings, either locking or unlocking your diff, which is indeed a lot quicker to press when you're in a busy off-roading environment. You can also press Alt and S to change your transfer case mode, as well as cycle through your car's four-wheel drive modes. Now, I know you have committed many crimes, therefore I'll be using Shift and N to activate my police light bar to come and chase you. Then, when I finally get you pulled over and it's no longer much of an emergency, I can use Alt Shift N to cycle light bar modes, and change it to either a camera mode or a solid light mode, for when I'm not trying to set off somebody's epilepsy. If you have ever wanted to see a car's physics skeleton, you can press Ctrl and B to cycle through many different visualization modes. Now, if you want to center your camera, you can use the number 5 key specifically on a number pad and it'll center your camera to the rear, which can actually be quite handy. If you get tired, you can use your number pad again to look around, using numbers 4 and 6 to look left and right, and then use numbers 2 and 8 to pan the camera up and down. A quite useful feature when fine-tuning photos in photo mode. Now, if you press Shift and E, you have a gameplay interaction. I have absolutely no idea whatsoever about what a gameplay interaction is, testing it many different times, but it doesn't seem to do anything. So, if you know what it does, please do let me know in the comments. Now, if you've had enough of this video and you want to disappear, well, good news, because you can. By pressing Control and your number pad's plus and minus keys, you can change the mesh visibility of your car up and down, changing how transparent you are. Now, if you ever want to edit your UI apps in a pinch, you can press Alt, Shift and U to quickly open UI Apps tab, and you can adjust them to your heart's content. On the topic of UI, if you want to open scary UI code that I do not understand, along with confusing side menus with a lot of buttons, you can press Ctrl and U and it lets you see all of this different stuff. Now, a lot of vehicles were harmed in the making of this video, so rather than manually repairing each individual one, we can press Shift and R to reset every car back to its original position for me to redestroy. However, resetting doesn't always fix the weird graphical glitches cars sometimes have, although it rarely happens. That's why you can press Ctrl, Shift and R to completely reload all vehicles and their physics, similar to pressing Ctrl and L to reload all Lua. This is handy if you have an entire scene set up and your game just breaks itself, and you don't want to reset it, losing everything. Reloading your Lua pretty much does the same thing as restarting your game would, just without the loss. And a final reloading feature. Similar to Google, you can press F5 to refresh your UI, which is really handy if you get stuck on a loading screen on the main menu, which does happen occasionally. Now, if you've been playing BeamNG Tiny for ages now, you can press Alt plus Enter to cycle through the different screen views, in this case making it full screen so I can finally see it. Now, finally a keybind that I found out you can actually quit the game with is Alt F4. This was just scratching the surface of keybinds. If you want a part 2, please do let me know. YouTube thinks you'll like the video now on screen. Thanks, and see ya.